You're sleeping. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Unusual Suspects. We have a banger for you guys today. We have a really special guest that we really, really love. I'm going to go on and introduce all of our regular unusuals. We have Chris Mano. He's in the casa. All the way from New York, chilling. Rob Gargiulo's here.
Hello,
he dressed up for today, which is really sexy with his button-down sweater hoodie, I think. Shane is here. He just finished writing and philosophying somebody in the back. And our newest unusual suspect, she is awesome. She's freaking has been making me laugh this entire time. We actually have mutual friends that lived in California. And where else are we talking about? Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, baby.
Guys, she is a contributor to Turning Point USA, the very lovely, the very educated, and she's a patriot. Chrissy Clark, how you doing, love?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, my God. Isn't it exciting?
Oh, yay. We're just like Jonathan Van Ness.
By the way, as we walked in, we talked about the video of, what's his name?
Jonathan Van Ness.
He's on the Queer Eye for the queer guy.
Yeah. He like runs Queer Eye.
They went to the White House. Did you see this video?
Of course I saw it.
And it was the most, but I have never used this word. This is the first time. Cringe. Like, he was like, oh my God. It was
too gay.
What are we, like, thank you. There's gay, and then there's like, yo, dude, can you turn it down? He was wearing like a bodysuit dress, and I think we spoke about it. It's like, think about for a second all the shit that's happening in the world right now. As we're sitting here right now, the country is effed, the border's open, and that's what the fuck they're doing. People are getting raped, killed. We're going to talk about that, but.
It's also Juneteenth, so if you're going to hold some sort of historic event at the White House today, you'd think you'd be celebrating black people instead of, I don't even know.
A flamboyant gay guy who was inside the White House briefing room and he was doing his whole, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd rather see him than Karine Jean-Pierre.
I also saw someone say, why not have a veteran there, somebody that served the country, not just some guy with a beard and a dress.
Yeah. And like, can you at least try to look good? Like that dress, it didn't even fit. Your rolls were out. Like, Rob, if you wore that, I'd be upset.
That's what it looked like. Like, I rolled into the White House, and I went, hi, I'm gay, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, because in the morning I'm watching, I'm like, is that Rob? Like, oh, no, Rob, we have a podcast. But, Chrissy, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
We have a freaking great show. Before we get into the, wait, so let me tell the topics. So the topics today, we're going to be talking about Caitlin Clark and the whole ordeal with her, and everybody's being racist about her, and I'm going to say it. They're being racist because they hate her because she's white and she's straight. Shane, you're going to be talking about the board, the illegals voting, which is perfect time. This is freaking election year. Rob, there's a monolith that is in Vegas. Was it Vegas?
Yes, the hills of Nevada.
Oh.
Scary.
Thank you, Rob, for making it so
Ominous.
to the point and honest.
Well, because you think Vegas, you think casinos, like nothing scary there. But no, this was like in the middle of Nevada, outside of Vegas.
Doesn't that sound like an introduction for like an old wrestler that we would watch?
Yes,
From the hills of Nevada.
The hills of Nevada.
The monolith.
Because you're actually right. If that monolith was on the strip, people would be trying to put money in it.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be fine.
Like, where's the lever? And then, Chris, you're going to be talking about the Biden-Trump debate.
Yes.
And the rules and all the crap leading up to that.
Yes, we
and,
are.
I'm going to be touching on the border and illegals murdering our women and raping our children. So yeah, it's not going to be. I'm already getting pissed off. So let me get into, guys. And before we get in there, as everybody knows, if you get an email from a random, you're not reading it. Spam. I delete it. I'm pretty sure everybody here does. 0.1% people respond to you if you email them or whatever. But the app Monect, if you guys haven't downloaded Monect, this is the app. I respond 100% if you have questions, ideas. If you disagree with me or you want me to talk about something, you want to talk shit, let's have at it because I'll read it and I'll get at you. There's Rob. He actually poses as he's a bodyguard for Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's right.
If you want to talk to Rob, that's Rob's Monect as well. Anything about production, podcasts, anything like that. Who else is next? We have Shane. Look, dude, Shane. Great headshot, bro.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Great headshot.
Thanks.
Like he
I
was
had to
just
improve.
Dude,
My other
stud.
one was no good.
Anything about writing, valuetainment, all the story.
Wanna write
Maintaining a beard.
That
Maintaining a
too.
beard, yeah.
If you want to go to the White House.
White House, Kelly. That's one of my favorite photos of Kelly. Guys, anything with behind the scenes, in front of the camera, writing, content, YouTube. There's her QR code. She's freaking amazing. Chris, are you on there?
I am on there as an
Chris-
expert, yes.
Chris is
This
on.
is gonna get
Chris is
hard.
on there too. It's Chris Mano, Manno, right?
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
so you guys can find him on there. But
Talk about training, talk about recruiting, talk
training,
about
football,
sports, talk about
anything,
media.
training or Chris is the guy. All right, guys. First story. Chrissy. By the way, Chrissy Clark is going to be talking about Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
Can you
very
please,
confusing.
let us know what's going on?
Yeah, so Caitlin Clark has obviously been all the rage of the WNBA right now, and what's happening is she's getting attacked. I think it's fair to say attacked on the court, and I just feel like we're at this point where the WNBA is either going to continue growing and you're going to see more Caitlin Clarks coming up in university settings and going into the WNBA, or you're going to see it all crash and burn very quickly. And I'm of the mindset that this is all going to come crashing and burning because these women are not ready for the spotlight. They're really not. So there's a video I want to queue up that talks about or just shows how Angel Reese, which is Caitlin Clark's nemesis, just out and smacked her on the field or on the court, sorry. And it's quite wild. Let's watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see
Damn, she hit the damn, that was far.
her head.
Well, like gangsters, they're probably like
pointing
celebrating.
to his head here, and I think they're going to look at this.
Yeah, of course they're gonna look at it.
Yeah, she gets
Hold on, did she even hit the ball?
it's not close.
Or
To
they want
review
to see it.
The foul, I believe, to Angel Reese. Yep,
Oh no,
across the
that
head.
Not even close to the
Yeah.
ball.
The other
It was all
girl,
head.
no, the other girl was going for the
review
ball.
this one.
Well, so the nemesis is the one that slapped her.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they've been rivals since college. Those two.
Oh, so rival cards. So here's my
Yeah.
one question. Is that good for this
Yeah,
video?
yeah.
So Chrissy, how long has Reese been in the league till what?
They're the same age, so they came up together. Angel Reese was at LSU, right?
Yes,
Caitlin
correct.
Clark was at the University of Iowa. They were they would go against each other. They were kind of the two best girls in college basketball. They both then get signed, and I think there was a lot of animosity between the two because Caitlin Clark was getting all of this attention. And I didn't cue this video up, but there's this crazy video, I don't know if y'all have seen it, of The View, the ladies of The View talking about how Caitlin Clark has pretty privilege.
Caitlin Clark?
Y'all pull up a picture. Like,
I believe I hate, just the fact that you said The View, it just gets my stomach. It bothers me. I think that's one of the worst shows in the history of shows. But I'm saying, did they get in the league at the same time? Or
yes.
was it a
Yeah, they
So-
just got in. They're both rookies, are in their rookie year right now.
Oh, okay.
Caitlin Clark was the number 1 pick. Angel Reese was the number 6 pick.
Caitlin Clark went 1.
Oh yeah.
Oh, then what the hell is she
it was a
complaining
lottery
about?
to
You're
win
not even
Caitlin
number
Clark.
1. You're not even number 1.
Or
Yeah,
2,
well, because only
or
one of
3,
them-
or 4, or 5.
five.
You're number 6.
Yes.
Wait, what were you saying, Rob?
Well, because one of them is, I mean, clearly there's some type of jealousy or animosity, at least, because Caitlin Clark just signed a $28 million deal
Correct.
with Nike, right? I don't see a lot of WNBA players signing multi-million-dollar deals with Nike. In fact, I don't know if I've ever heard of one. I mean, I'm sure that they happen, but they never made news until now with Caitlin Clark being in the league.
Well, I think that's where everything stems from is the jealousy issue. And I don't know, I'm sorry if that's like a male-female thing, but it just so happens that Caitlin Clark's game translates so well to TV, so well to drawing in fans. It's very similar to what we saw Steph Curry do 10 or 12 years ago, where he's completely revolutionizing the game. These girls can't dunk. These girls aren't physical specimens. Like, my big thing with, like, when I compare men's and women's hoops is if I've seen people do it at this level, it's hard to get super excited to see people do it at maybe a little lower level physically, right?
Yeah, that's like
100%.
when you go watch an NFL game, you don't want to the following day go watch Pee Wee football.
Exactly. And so, and Caitlin Clark's game translates so beautifully to drawing fans in because she shoots the same threes from the same lines, falling away with hands in her face, and she's phenomenal at it.
Is the rim 10 feet for
It is.
WNBA
It is.
as well?
It is, yeah.
So Chris, let me ask you a question because I know you have more stuff to show. But okay, so does race have anything to do with the fact that she is? I'm just putting out there because we'll get into Stephen A. Smith and all the race baiting rhetoric that they're trying to do because I know it's for click. They want. By the way, Stephen A. Smith talks about sports as if he's like Noam Chomsky. It's like, bro, they're fucking putting a ball in a circle. He wears pink suits. By the way, the camera follows him in
amazing.
like he's playing.
He goes like this.
Yeah, like
camera.
what the like? It's like listen, and
I respect that. Though. Listen, I get it, but there's a part of this that has to be dramatic. It is there. Like even this is a form of show business.
You know, I understand, but I understand, but you're an announcer for a. Let's break it down. And no disrespect to sports, I used to adore sports and I love sports. Let's really strip this down to its bare, like naked truth. It's a fucking game. At the end of the day, in the scheme of life, sports are fucking meaningless. And all due respect, it's to distract the people. Back in the Roman days, when the people started asking questions and started getting crazy, like they want to do a civil war, guess what the emperor would do?
Give them games.
Fucking games for 3 months.
Feed them bread and give them circus.
That's exactly Rob. And I mean, literally throwing them to the lions. So at the end of it, when it comes to Stephen A. Smith, I'm like, bro, I get the suits, I get that, but you are just talking about the sport. The fact that he's bringing up, and that's because I still want to know what you think, the race part of it, she's only doing this because she's white, and he made a reference to Donald Trump, this make America great again. What are you talking about? When people were slaves and no. We talked about this before we started. America was great back in the day when you could smoke on airplanes, beat the shit out of your kids in public, and nobody said anything. What's up?
But here's the deal with Stephen A. Smith, right? What you see in the mornings is Disney, ESPN, Stephen A. Smith.
Weird.
That is a controlled, that is a Stephen A. Smith that is told exactly what you can and can't say. Yeah. Toe the line, let the chicks clear, Stephen A. Smith. He has a podcast at night completely different from ESPN and Disney, where you get a vibe and a feel for what he really knows. He's very educated.
Of course he is.
He completely understands what's going on.
Yeah.
He appears with Sean Hannity on Fox quite a bit. They're very good friends. And I think that makes it worse to me. Like, I'm almost okay if you're like blissfully ignorant to the terrible things that are going on.
Not. He
but
knows.
when you know what's going on, but the check's got to clear, so you change yourself completely at 10 in the morning and 7 at night, that's where I find a problem.
Great
with stuff
point.
like that.
We were talking about that too. It's just so frustrating how people will do literally anything for money nowadays. But speaking to your race point about everything, there was a video that I want to queue up of Angel Reese saying that she thinks that Caitlin Clark has some sort of special privilege. We should watch that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Kel.
For inside, I mean, I think we were playing really hard. I think we went up really strong a lot of times, and we didn't get a lot of calls. And going back and looking at the film, I've seen a lot of calls that weren't made. I guess some people got a special whistle, but just being able to
special whistle.
Special whistle.
Yeah, and I think that's alluding to because you're white, because you're, galvanizing the game in a way that Angel Reese has been seemingly unable to. And, I don't actually think it has anything to do with race or sexuality. I think most of it, yes, comes down to the way that Caitlin Clark galvanizes she's really good with media appearances. She's also not fucking ratchet. Angel Reese is fucking ratchet.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of nice, beautiful black girls. Angel Reese, I actually think is pretty. I think she's prettier than
she starts talking
Caitlin
that
Clark.
shit. Yeah.
Yes, but the way she carries herself is fucking ghetto.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Don't apologize.
It's just gross. It's not the way you want your young girls, regardless of their skin color, to look at women.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Caitlin Clark holds herself in a manner where even when she gets smacked in the face, even when she gets a flagrant foul thrown at her, she still knows how to carry herself in a respectful way.
Because fantastic point. It's like, and again, you don't want to be, even if you don't want to be a role model, you are. People are watching you. Kids are watching you. This girl is bringing eyeballs to your sport that you weren't bringing. So to have that attitude, to have that shittiness, and I get it. Basketball, this it's a physical game, but to be targeting them, and that's why that rhetoric, that anti, the hell with them and Stephen A. Smith, Rob, it's making them go, you know what, the hell with this bitch.
It goes to victimhood mentality, right? Right now it's easier to play the victim. Oh, I don't get the same opportunities as this person because I don't have the same skin color. I don't have the same background
Work
growing
harder
up.
then.
But what it comes down to is I really believe, I don't know if this is racism as much as it is jealousy. I think you can see we talked about males versus females earlier. I think jealousy is a common trait between both men and female. It's how people utilize that jealousy, right? Like, it'd be easy to sit and look at people like you, for instance, right? You came in and you have skyrocketed. I'm very proud of you. I've watched you transform into a professional broadcaster. Like, you came in and please don't take this wrong way.
Not.
You were a knucklehead comedian.
Yeah.
And I love you for that. But I watched you transform into this media personality where now you're on Piers Morgan. You're getting interviewed by Laura Trump. You could look at that and be jealous, or I can look at that and go, look, Vinny put the work in. Vinny does the research. Vinny puts the time in. He worked it and it worked for him. If anybody can do it, Vinny can do it. I can do
Great
it.
freaking
And instead of looking at that and looking at the benefits of what Caitlin Clark is bringing to the WNBA, much like how people don't we could look at the benefits you're bringing to us, right? More people watch this podcast, which helps each one of us in the long run with clicks and stuff because you're on it. So a rising tide raises all boats. That's what's going on with the WNBA, but the other players, instead of realizing that and leaning into it, they're fighting it, and they're acting like they're victims rather than trying to be the victors. And I think at this point, you need to stop that victimhood mentality, stop being jealous, and use that jealousy as fuel to get better so you can be like Caitlin Clark. You can get a $28 million contract instead of sitting in a press conference in a fucking gymnasium in front of 15 people where you're like, yeah, she gets a special whistle I don't have.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem with the whole thing. Like, have you ever seen a business like cannibalize itself like this? They've been waiting for somebody to bring eyes for 25 years, right? She has gotten more accomplished before she ever laced up for her first game than 25 years worth of women before her. She's got them on chartered flights. Their games are nationally televised at a rate they've never been before. They're selling out arenas to the point where when teams found out Caitlin Clark was coming to town as an away player, no, not even that. They were leaving their home buildings to go play in bigger ones. So when she went to Washington to play the Mystics, they normally play in a smaller building to accommodate the women. They moved over to the Wizards building, and they sold it out.
And did you guys see there's a report that the WNBA is still set to lose $50 million this year, despite all the success she's brought to the league?
Which is crazy, because how have they continued to stay active for as long as
at
they have?
A loss. The NBA pays for it.
What you mentioned, Chris, earlier is that it and I hate to sound sexist, but it is a downgrade for the viewer to watch men play this sport at the professional level that they play it, and then watch women who, unfortunately, they don't possess the same dominant skills as men. It's a lesser game. The only thing that they could do is lean into that and make the game more interesting. I hate, I'm not making a goof of it, but do you remember Jock Jams? Remember when they used to do Rock and Jock, when they would have the Rock and Jock basketball and they'd have different levels of hoops? Why not bring some type of incentive for the viewer to want to watch? Because to be honest, men's basketball bores me. I can't imagine sitting through a women's basketball.
Well, and I think that's her appeal, is that she does do something as well as the men. Because I'm telling you, we watched it last year with Sabrina Ionescu shooting with Steph Curry in a three-point contest. If you put Caitlin Clark with Steph Curry, she's going to be reasonably close with the number that she makes. And she does that on the same hoop from the same lines, and that's why people are so enamored with it. Like, I can't believe the shots this girl is making.
Yeah, what do you think, Chrissy?
I just think that back to what Rob was saying about how, rising tides rise all boats and everything. That's the difference between the NBA and the WNBA, is not necessarily their skill level, but also that there's an inherent biological difference in the way that women and men deal with jealousy. Women are inherently more jealous, and that mentality, which all human beings should have, it's the mentality that's going to help you rise in a capitalistic society. That's not happening in the WNBA, and that's why you have the commissioner, the WNBA commissioner, is saying that Caitlin Clark is not being targeted by opposing players. This is not problematic at all, because what you can see in my reading of this, or my interpretation of this, was this jealousy problem has been ongoing and endemic in the WNBA since its inception, because there's an inherent biological difference. This division will never be successful until you tell women they need to put to the side this jealousy, and there needs to be coaches that need to come in and be strong in telling people that.
No, so ultimately, do you think that a Caitlin Clark is going to actually fix this problem, or do you think that they're just doomed?
No, it's actually making it worse. Which is so funny, because yes, Caitlin Clark is doing a great job in bringing eyeballs, but as you noted, Shane, the league is still hemorrhaging, and the attitude of the other players is honestly hemorrhaging it more. This can't be all on one person.
Who's the leader of who's the front running, besides Caitlin, obviously, but who's like the veteran voice? Is there anyone to be like, hey, listen, bitches, can you guys all stop?
Vin, that's the incredible part, is that before she even got there, the veterans were already like bracing everybody for this. I think about Diana Taurasi, who's been in this for 15, 16 years. Yeah. She's supposed to be like the leader of the old school.
She's the hater too.
And she's the first one to say, we're going to welcome her. She thinks she's going to come in here.
Yeah, we're going to play. Good luck in college. Yeah.
Like, blah, blah.
This is a different story.
It's the job of those people to pass the torch and leave the league in a better place. Welcome this new group in, and they
but that's an inherently female thing.
That's kind of what I was getting at earlier, but I didn't want to come off.
No, it's okay. I'll be a sexist asshole.
But
Chrissy, fuck them. Go.
What's very interesting is that NBA needs is to replace the president. Donna Orander has been the president of the WNBA since 2005. Imagine being the CEO of a company that has lost revenue year after year after
10 million
year
every year
for 19 years straight, and you still keep your job. That's crazy to me.
$270 million they've lost since the beginning.
And she's still employed.
I know.
Do you know what I think they're going to have to do? And you probably know it from us growing up watching sports. Yeah. Do you remember the Jordan rules?
Yeah,
and then they changed the rules when Tom Brady started getting his legs falling on.
Yeah, of course.
You might have to, as a league, at some point, start to say, like, we got to tighten this up a little bit, because when you let the players, you give them the freedom. We see it in the NBA too. When you give them the freedom to attack the golden goose and her, what do you think happens to these ratings if Caitlin Clark goes down in the next 15 national televised games? Nobody's watching.
Dude, let me explain something to you. If she quit and she went to that other league, what was the league?
That was a Big Three.
They wanted her to go to Big Three, which is Ice Cube's league.
Yeah.
You would they'd be losing $60 billion because nobody gives a shit. And you're right. It's like, oh my God, somebody needs to wake these people up and be like, yo, nobody was talking about us until she came in. I didn't even know the WNBA was happening. No, I'm being dead serious. I'm like, is it the season? It's unbelievable.
And yet she still seems to lack all resentment. Like, did you see that clip where someone asked her how she feels about racism?
Yes.
And she, I mean, I haven't even heard of anyone being racist like on her side. But she goes, you know what? It's disappointing. And she was completely like open and honest, and she was just like, I'm very sorry, basically.
What
if that
I took
is
away
happening.
from that clip was she said, don't use my name to push racist agendas.
Yeah.
Which was, so she could, it's the total, that's really an interesting point. It's the total opposite of what people are doing to her, where people are acting like the victim and then lashing out at her. She's getting lashed out at, and instead of acting like the victim, she's going, no, don't treat me like a victim. Don't say that I'm the victim of racism. I'm just disappointed that that's the narrative people are having.
Yeah, I have one.
Very good
class.
I got one last clip I want to show you guys before I wrap up my point. It's going to be our last video I want to watch. It's really interesting.
Oh, this is okay.
This is So the reason why I want to bring this up is I feel like it really wraps in my point. And like the WNBA is not ready for this, because this is a woman. I think she plays for the LA or the Las Vegas Aces. Yeah, she's crying over a regular season loss. You got to watch this.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna laugh.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to be the best. I get y'all saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great. But I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate.
Oh my God.
Because that's how I get the best out of my team. So when it comes to wins, losses, when I tell you I break this game down piece by piece, because I don't want to be great for you guys.
That is the difference between men and women. Michael Jordan was a gambler. Like a notorious gambler.
His father was murdered.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest of men. He wasn't looking to be the best person. He was looking to be the best player. And he did it.
By the way, they don't. It's because we're gonna go into politics. That bothers me. The emotional, the jealousy. That's she's not able to control her emotions. I just picture the president of the United States being a woman sitting there going, I told Putin not to. I told him not to go to Crimea, and he fucking went anyway. It's like, what are we doing?
It's not fair.
Would you rather have that or the guy freezing when the camera? Either way.
Honestly, I'd rather have the statue man.
Yeah,
I think I would.
Stoic.
Well, yeah. Well, speaking of freaking, thank you for the story. Thank you for the story, Chrissy. But speaking of Biden freezing, we're gonna get into my story. For you guys, I'm pretty sure everybody here did. For some of you guys at home that didn't, it was Sunday? The Democrats, was it Sunday that they had the Joe Biden, the fundraiser, a re-election campaign? Him and Obama sat on stage. They obviously can't stand. They were sitting for 45 minutes with Jimmy Kimmel, who's I love. I think he's such a funny comedian. At the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. By the way, and it does, not to divert, he's not a stand-up comedian. I hate when people say Rob, he's not a comedian.
No, I'm not. But watching the downfall of Jimmy Kimmel from a comedic standpoint because I was 13 years old when The Man Show was on TV, and it was Jimmy Kimmel, Adam Carolla, and they had these girls called the Jugettes who would jump on trampolines in bikinis. That was the show. And I was like, this guy's great. I love him. And then you fast forward 21 years, and you're like, what the hell happened?
He's yelling at Aaron Rodgers over the vaccine.
Yeah, you have no room to say anything like that, and that's what drives me crazy about these losers. But anyway, so they were on there. They did this 45-minute interview, podcast, whatever the hell you want to call it. So as they stand up for applause, Biden seems to get stuck like he always does. Okay, he does this, and it's been happening a lot more this past year. Obama is doing his yes we can, and I'm full of shit. He has to grab his wrist and walk him and guide him like
a nursing home.
Nana.
Yeah,
like a nursing home.
This way.
And Rob made a good point. He gets to the curtain. He has to guide him and get him through. I want to show it before we get into what the left and all these losers were talking about. Kelly, can you please play the clip so everybody can see it? Is there audio on this? Okay. Okay, well, watch this. They're waving. Biden's, the brain freeze, dementia.
What do you think he's looking at?
Grabs his wrist. Hey, we have to leave now.
That would stop me. The only thing that would stop me is boobs.
By the way, hand
girl.
on his back. Hand on his back. Hand on his back. He has to guide him. Guide him. Watch, guiding him all the way. Go ahead.
Are we at the beach right now? He's like, no.
Yeah.
Can we get ice cream? You know he loves ice cream.
Soon.
By the way, he's walking him still till the curtain goes down.
Have you ever seen the video where Joe Biden's trying to get Barack Obama's attention? I believe it was.
Love
Did you
that.
ever see- I know it was on the House floor, and he keeps trying.
And Obama's ignoring him.
the entire time. And now look how quickly that has flipped in 3 years. Where now the guy's literally guiding him off stage.
Yeah. So, it's horrible. And like in normal fashion, the left went absolutely bananas trying to say, and I mean everyone. So I was on X shitting on, I think 10 accounts, like really known accounts. One guy was like Brian Tyler Cohen. The name of the show was called No Lie. I go, what an ironic piece of shit. They edited this video. By the way, he needs escorts to walk him from the White House. Karine Jean-Pierre and all these people have to walk him and guide him. He falls off of bikes. He falls going up and downstairs. He shakes hands with invisible people. And the fact that he does.
About that one.
And
I forgot about that
they're trying to tell us that our eyes are lying to us.
They're
Did
cheap
you
fakes.
Just see it, Chrissy?
Karine Jean-Pierre's like, they're cheap fakes, these videos. They're fake. Yeah, that's
Kelly,
what she said, cheap fake.
this is her. She called, by the way, and before we start the video, horrible outfit change, like decision. She wore white. The bitch, it's glowing. You're not supposed to wear white with all those lights. By the way, I'm trying to be a good person. I despise her. I despise her because she's full of shit. Kelly, please play the video.
There seems to be a sort of rash of videos that have been edited to make the president appear especially frail or mentally confused.
Look, she had to go into her notes.
I'm wondering if
her notes. She needs
White House is
notes.
especially worried about
Nothing.
There seems to be a pattern that we're seeing more often.
Yeah, and I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video.
No, they didn't.
That's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers.
She does the Obama hands too. Look, she does the
Yeah,
same Obama. Yeah, she does the Obama
disinformation.
movements.
And so you
Scumbag.
see this,
Yeah.
and this is something coming from your part of the world, calling them cheap fakes and misinformation. And I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post.
Conservative.
Ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking
Kelly, you can
troops.
shut this
That
off.
is what
I can't listen to her anymore.
It's basically a new term, so it's like, well, okay, we can't say you actually edited the clip, but somehow the way you're using it is just dishonest.
You're using it out of context.
It's footage. It's straight up footage, unedited, and somehow it's a cheap fake.
Chrissy, how do you be honest? Like you saw exactly what happened. For her to go in front of the White House and brief the world about lying, she's lying about what we saw with her eyes.
Yeah.
So two things. First, obviously, that was her lying. Second, we had the White House spokesman, Andrew Bates, come out and say that Biden was reveling in the moment. He was just sitting there, and he was soaking it all up.
Couldn't even blink.
Yeah, no.
Wait, I love the word reveling. Like, he was soaking it all.
Oh, yeah. No, he probably saw a little girl he wanted to sniff or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I was in Detroit when this happened, and I was sitting, I watched that video, and then I was sitting at dinner, and the lady that was serving me, she was a black woman. She had long nails. She was really funny. And she's like, "Why are you in town?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm here for an event for President Trump." She's like, "Ooh, you know Trump? Can you tell him I say hi?" I'm like, "I do not know Trump, but I am just here for the event." And she goes on to say, "We have got to get rid of Biden." And I'm just not expecting this. This came out of nowhere, really unprompted. And she proceeded to do this little shuffle with her feet. She goes, "Biden just so we go." Like he shuffles. And I'm like, it doesn't, that's where it kind of clicked for me with this video where I was like, it doesn't matter whether or not he was reveling in the moment. Let's say for all intents and purposes of my argument, he was reveling in the moment. It doesn't matter. You look and you are perceived to be an old elderly man. And when Obama is taking you off the stage in this manner, it doesn't matter whether that's true or not. It's the way the voter perceived. And these people in Detroit talking about how they are longtime Democrats that are now considering voting for Trump because they can't stand Biden's shuffle and what an idiot he looks like.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perfect insight into how this election is going to be.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, right? It's not something, this isn't one of one. We see this all the time.
Yeah.
So him shuffle, obviously, and yeah,
it's not, but he's falling, like, bro, like, let's stop lying to each other. I'm going to say 95, we'll probably have 5% of haters, but 95% of our audience, you guys aren't stupid. You know exactly what's happening. You see what's happening, but they have to keep riding this horse until, A, he loses his mind or says some racist shit or does something physical health and he has to drop the hell out, and that's when Newsom or Michelle or whoever's going to come in. But let's just not lie to each other, bro. You cannot compare him to Donald Trump. I don't give a shit what anybody says, cognitive skills and all that shit. It's not the same.
Well, I can't be the only one now at this point, right? Like, I look back at how the last election was, where they kind of kept him in the basement, and they can kind of
brilliant. COVID.
They can sort of like shape the narrative any way they want. I thoroughly get excited now when I see him on film because I'm like, the more he does, the easier this is going to be.
Yeah.
Let Karine talk. Let Joe Biden talk. The more these people talk, the harder it is to pretend like nothing crazy is going on.
It's actually,
I welcome it now.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I just think it's actually not even the spokespeople for the White House that are having any impact on this election. Like you said, people see right through it.
Right.
It's not that. It's the media members that have a bigger sway on independents right now. And my fear is that if you held the election today, Trump would win. I wouldn't be concerned about that. But if you listen to somebody say convicted felon for frickin' 3 more months, that will have a lot more of an impact than I think people realize. So yeah, you're right. Let them keep talking, but it's not about that. You got to expose the media apparatus that goes with it because it's really an extension of the Democratic Party.
I agree.
Well, and they've started with the convicted felon campaign because just this week the Biden administration spent $50 million in campaign ads highlighting that Trump is a convicted felon. Meanwhile, completely omiss of the fact that the president's son is also now a convicted felon himself. But forget that. That's
for
fine.
guns and crack.
Can you believe, though, that this event raised Biden $30 million? And plus, how indicative is it that it's Hollywood paying Obama, Obama, really, because he's the real leader.
Yeah.
But so, I was reading into the fine print of it. The VIP tickets for this event were $500,000.
Can you imagine
500
grand?
500 grand. Can you imagine what of a loser you must be to pay 500 grand to get a picture with Biden and then go to the VIP after party? It said Mindy Kaling from The Office, Jeff Ross, and Jordan Peele were in the audience. Like, what loser?
Jeff Ross and Jordan Peele paid $500,000.
Jeff
what
Ross
a
has
bunch of fucking idiots.
Jeff Ross?
Yeah, Jeff Ross.
Roastmaster
What
General?
the hell's he doing?
He just came. He's fresh off the Brady roast, so he probably just got a check.
Oh, that check.
It's all gone now, though.
Bro, to spend $500,000.
That's what I'm going to do when I get $500,000.
why would you
Also allegedly accused of having a sexual relationship with a girl at 15 years old, Jeff Ross. So just remember the company that you keep, the Biden support.
Wow.
I don't know if that's real or not, but I have an article from Vulture right here where the headline, he liked that I was innocent. Jessica Radke met Jeff Ross at a comedy club at 15. Soon after, she alleges, they began a sexual relationship.
Well, the thing with Bidens is that they don't actually need to leave their family in order to assault young girls. They have
wow.
Biden has his own daughter.
Hey, kind of true if you want to read diaries.
Yikes.
But so just to kind of wrap this all up, I think the reason that they're doing this, and the reason you guys make great points, the left, the Democrats, the left, whatever the hell, liberals, whatever you want to call them, they're hanging on to this person no matter what you say. Like, I have family members that are like, because they believe it. Well, you said it. You say it enough, people actually believe it. And I think the Democratic Party, the left, these people, they have Stockholm syndrome. They have fallen in love with the abuser, which is the Democratic leadership, the party. They love that shit because Trump basically fixed the country. Everything was good. They didn't like his the way that he sets up. But America right now is where Americans kind of like. They like the war. They like the fucking economy shitty. I think they love it. And they're like, no, we don't want Trump. We don't want somebody to fix it. We want to suffer. We want to be in fucking poverty. We want the fucking wars to be happening everywhere. I genuinely think that's what the average American, the left, liberals, want. That's why they stick up for a piece of shit like this. And there's one more video I have right here. So I don't know what this disease is. I don't know what the hell is going on with them. I know. And Rob, can you check for me, or Kelly, or Rob? Biden has had 2 brain aneurysms. I think I've heard that before, and I think he's had surgery. Something is going on. Nobody's hands. I don't know what's going on in your brain that your hands stay up. This is the Juneteenth. Was this the Juneteenth celebration?
Amazing.
And look at his.
Wow. That's wild. Sorry. Biden brain aneurysm doesn't autocomplete when you put it in Google, but if you said that's called being shadow banned.
It's shadow
But
banned.
if you start
Yeah.
searching and you scroll through when you get to page 3, it starts talking about him nearly dying of a brain aneurysm from the Washington Post. So
okay.
yes, he has.
So I love
what
getting-
Joe Biden learned from his life-threatening brain aneurysm. So yes, that did happen.
Okay, so and it goes to my point, which we talked about earlier, me, Chrissy, and Shane before he came in here. Just because he doesn't remember all the shitty things that he's done and who he is as a human being with the kid sniffing and the daughter diary shit and the racist shit that he said in the past. Now that he's an old man and people are like, no, well, he's old. No.
He's still a corrupt piece of shit.
He's still a piece of shit. That guy is still in you. That your soul is still the same, and I don't forgive that. Let God forgive you at the end. But this is a video of him. Just tell me if this is normal. Look at everybody else and then look at Biden. Go ahead, Kel. Look at his hands. Look. What is, he's
He
fucking
got plucked
stuck.
right out of Madame Tussauds.
Yeah.
He's just.
Yeah,
reveling.
Look at him. Yeah, he's reveling. Yeah. He's reveling. He's reveling.
He's meeting God.
He really
No
is the perfect candidate, though, bro. He's the perfect candidate for them. An empty vessel. You tell him what to say, tell him what to think, and
there's
hopefully
no
he
shame
does
in
it.
it. Yeah, there's no shame in
dude,
it.
Does that face look like this? I hate to be that guy that does masks and stuff, but does that face look like the same one that you keep seeing all the time?
No, it's
that
not.
One looks puffier than any other Joe. And look at my face. I'm
Kelly, that's
the
good.
king of puffy faces. Joe Biden's face looks real puffy there. What, you
No,
been drinking
let me-
whiskey?
Rob, let me explain something to you. I can have an opinion because that's why I'm an American. I'm not in communist China. I could think for myself. Either there's masks and there's multiple Bidens. There's no way, because me and Kelly showed this photo a while ago of all these. It's not the same guy. The earlobes, the nose, the way he talks. The one where he was on Air Force One and his chin looked like a ball sack, and Blinken and Kirby are behind him like, oh God, oh no. They're panicking because they don't know what the fuck they're gonna get.
You guys did an awesome job on the pod this week of talking about that one where he did. Was it
The
right?
neck.
You guys talking about the neck? This is incredible.
And people are like, no, it's the lighting. Whatever the hell it is, it's not the same guy.
And that clip is a few years old, but
Yeah.
if that clip shows you anything, okay, it's not a mask. Look at how intelligent and well-spoken the president was, and look at him today and tell me, okay, it's not the same guy, then explain that
Something
cognitive
happened.
decline. Yes,
Yeah.
something clearly has happened.
It's not just
and
age.
guys, and just because I want to get to this point, the last one before we move to the next story. Have you guys been noticing how the celebrities on the left have been panicking lately? Have you been seeing it, Chrissy? Like Robert De Niro, batshit crazy. He's gonna come after me, right? He's gonna come after. Well, I don't hear what you have to say. Rachel Maddow was just on The View, your favorite show.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, he's gonna kill me.
Put me in a camp.
He's
she
gonna
said.
put me in a camp.
Put her in a
Yeah,
camp,
yeah.
yeah.
Shut the hell up, you dumb bitch. Barbara Streisand and then Chrissy Teigen. Whatever the hell her name is.
Teigen.
She is the worst. Okay, she said she fears that Trump will come after her if he returns to the White House. It's funny how all these Hollywood celebrities that tweeted blatant pedophile type shit are all petrified now of the Orange Man as if he might actually come after them and arrest them. But if you did nothing wrong, what are you afraid of? And just for you guys at home, whoever, because I know there's probably fans of Chrissy Teigen and her relationship with John, what the hell is his name? Legend. Look, let me give you guys a little flashback. Remember when she deleted, I want to ask you guys honestly, Chris, she deleted 60,000 tweets because people were calling her out on her pervertedness. Guys, I'm going to just, the lovely friend of mine, Kelly, is going to scroll through. I want your honest opinions for you guys that don't know.
How do you have 60,000 tweets?
Dude,
That is
back then,
ridiculous.
too.
Do you ever do anything but tweet at
Those
that
are just
point?
the ones she deleted.
Yeah, so let's.
that's a good
you know what we
point.
do? Me and Kels are gonna go through. I'll read these for you guys. Kelly, let's start going through these nice tweets. So, accidentally went to the children's aquarium, looking pretty pedo bear-ish, cruising the parking lot. Weird. She's looking at children in the parking lot. I'm bored. Really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth? MTV? I mean, that doesn't make me sense, but I'll try. Weird. Water slide that goes through a Shark Tank? F yeah, time to get my pedo on. She's saying this shit, not us. I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. Can we stop before we go to the next one? What the fuck are you talking about? Chrissy, what are you saying when you say, I want to get my Anthony Weiner on? Anthony Weiner was fucking arrested and put in jail for what? Texting a 15-year-old girl.
His dick.
His dick.
While in bed next to his own child.
Yeah. Next. All right, Kelly. Skinny pedos drink Pedialyte. Oh, that's funny. A little boy in the pageant now? Finally some eye candy for me. What else? Any more? He just said the cleanest and best pleasure is to have sex with a 13-year-old. Up until that, ha, 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 ha. Look at this. Seeing little girls do splits half naked is just, I want to put myself in jail. If you guys are reading this at home, what the fuck is she talking about? What's the last one, my love? I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star, like a trashy do-anything porn star. Is this wrong to think?
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy, you can't erase your past. You don't have to fear Donald Trump. Stop worrying about Donald Trump. Worry about God when you die and he has to judge your ass for the disgusting pedophile type of shit that came out of your dumbass fingers on Twitter. And then she tried to turn on everybody going, why is everybody treating me like this? Because it's your words. Nobody forced you to say that shit. What kind of
This isn't what got her canceled. I don't know if you know that.
What was the cancellation?
So what actually got her canceled in the mind of a lot of people, although I think she's honestly overcome the cancellation, is she was bullying young girls. So she was probably about my age, like in her mid-20s, bullying younger girls who were trying to also become models, shaming them into thinking that they were fat and ugly.
She's jealous.
I'd never heard of that. And I follow pop culture pretty
This is your first time?
Never heard of that.
She deleted over 60,000.
And I thought they were the tweets that were relating to the larger scandal.
And that wasn't it. But I think, you know how people are on the internet, they found those. These were found.
That should be a way bigger story.
This is the bigger story.
Who gives a shit if you bully? People need to be bullied a little bit more.
I think so too, Chrissy.
She's bullying young women because she's jealous. They're her competition for young boys.
Oh, yeah. And going back to your point about the WNBA, it's jealousy. It's hate. But it's like, you can't hide from that shit. That type of attitude, that type of pedo bullshit talk. But that's the thing but guess what? If you're a leftist, if you're a Democrat, if you donate and you've hung out with the Obamas and you've had sex at the Obamas, because that's what her and John Legend I'll show you this video at the end. She's like, oh, we did something at the Obamas. And even John Legend's like, no, don't talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to throw up in my mouth later, but moving on. Rob, the Monolith in Vegas, the hills of Las Vegas.
Yes, in the hills of Nevada, a monolith has returned. Do you guys remember when the monolith first appeared in 2020?
No.
So you don't remember this at all. It's mid-COVID, everybody's in lockdown, and a monolith popped up in Utah. But first, here's the story from the Associated Press yesterday. Gleaming monoliths. I like how they wrote it. It feels like a Trump. I want Trump to read this. It's the biggest,
the best shiny
monolith. The shiniest
no monolith has ever been like
ever.
This monolith.
Gleaming monolith pops up in Nevada desert, the latest in a series of quickly vanishing structures. So the weird part about this monolith stuff, and sometimes things get too heavy. I realize this. I need some brevity in my life. It feels like things are always heavy. This is something where it's like, hey, I can read on this for an hour and not get suicidally depressed. Where it's like, no offense to you guys at VT.com, I start reading these articles, I'm like, we are doomed as a society. But then I came across the monolith
That's
one.
me when I look at our headlines for the week. I'm like, oh, God. This looks pretty dark.
It's doom and gloom sometimes. The future is bright unless Shane and Connor are writing the article.
Hey, that's funny. The future's bright unless Shane and Connor are right.
We're just keeping it real, all right?
Yes. So I was like, what could I bring to the podcast that will maybe lighten the mood? And it's aliens and the monolith. So check it out. This is the monolith that appeared in the hills of Nevada. According to the police, this is odd. So the new monolith appeared. It was 6,937 feet high above ground level.
Jeez.
So it's pretty high up. They say that it's one of the highest points in the Desert National Wildlife Refuge where it was found. They don't know how long the monolith has been there. It could be years. Now, this is the monolith that was discovered in 2020. That's in Utah. The weird part about this one, they say that monolith was there for 4 years before being
Holy
discovered.
shit.
Right? So all of the arguments about the weird monoliths are that it's some kind of art stunt or some type of PR stunt but do you know any artists that make art and then shelve it for 4 years and don't tell anybody about it?
In the hills of Nevada?
No, that one was in the hills of Utah.
Okay.
Well, Rob, let me ask
Some
you.
hills.
Can I ask you a question though, Rob? Have they opened these things up to find out what's in it? Are they not touching it because they're scared or what?
Well, we could get to that. Kelly, could you go to the very last slide if you don't mind? There is a video of them opening one of the monoliths, not this one, but if you could go to the next one and pull that up.
Is this one?
Yes, they actually opened up the one in Utah, and here is what came out
All
when
right.
they
No
opened
music.
No music. No music.
Greatest president of all time.
Wonderful.
Oh wait, you know what?
Wouldn't that be great?
You are an
goal.
asshole because I was really like focused, like what's gonna come out of that, and you got DJ T.
So here's the crazy part. The one that was discovered in Utah after being in the desert for 4 years, undiscovered, it sits there for a few weeks. The news reports on it. At the time, I remember watching this because it was similar to kind of where we're at now. When you would read the news, remember how crazy it got with COVID, where they had like a real-time death clock? And they kept, the weirdest part about COVID to me was they kept comparing it to 9/11. Today, it's 3 9/11s of people
I
dead. And
fucking
I'm like,
hate
that's
that. I hate
that's
that.
the
Gruesome.
metric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So at that point, it got real heavy. They started to find, like, I started seeing news reports of the monolith, started reporting on it. People were watching it. They would do aerial shots in the desert via helicopter of the monolith. What is this alien structure? Where did it come from? And then 4 Utah desert people decide to steal it. They just take the monolith because it's on park land, but it's not technically supposed to be there. Nobody
much
knows
does
who
it
it
weigh?
belongs to. So a group of 4 Utah hillbillies load it up in a truck and take it, and they keep it for a month. And the federal government does nothing. Isn't that weird? Don't you think the federal government would have some type of problem with
I
this?
love sharing country with people like that, by the way, like unironically. It's just amazing that there's people in the hills of Utah, Nevada, just like,
driving
ready
around.
to
Yo, Chrissy asked, how much does it weigh?
I don't know. Not too much that 4 hillbillies in the hills of Nevada
I don't
can't
think
go
exactly.
to a Dodge
Tacoma.
truck. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Rob, what
Let's
do you, like,
get it. Like,
if
I
you
love
guys
the-
had to guess, because I want to, like, if you had to guess, do you think it's just a prankster artist trying to make people like, oh, because if we don't know what's in it, or could it be that aliens put this thing there just to be like, we're gonna mess with these people?
So there's an interesting thing to that. 200 different monoliths appeared after the original one appeared in Utah. Most of them were art installations. They were people trying to promote a business. People would put a monolith. There was a guy that dressed a monolith up in front as a gingerbread and put it in front of his store at Christmas time. So there were like they flooded the news with all these other monoliths that were appearing, but they were all PR stunts. But why would you create something like I can't for the life of me understand anybody that would do a PR stunt and the payoff is 4 years, and then 4 years later doesn't take claim for that.
Yeah.
So you put that in the desert back in 2016. It's discovered in 2020. It's a PR stunt. Here we are 4 years later, and nobody has taken ownership of it.
Yeah.
The only people that have ownership of the original monolith that appeared in Utah, the National Parks and Forestry, ended up having the original monolith that was stolen by the Utah hillbillies donated back to them by the Utah hillbillies. The hillbillies like, yeah, we took a look at it, and here, you can take it back now.
That's so funny.
So, but if it is a PR stunt, nobody's claimed credit for it. If it is art, like Banksy, right? Banksy,
Yeah.
he paints and stuff. Okay. This is more interesting to me.
CIA.
oh, it's a rat coming in a door. Who gives a shit?
Banksy's literally the CIA, in my opinion. Like, that's
Okay.
not even a real guy.
Well, that's what makes me wonder, what is this? Because it can't be art. It can't be a PR stunt, because you would think that if it was, then someone would take credit for it. But here we are 8 years later after it was originally planted. No one's taking credit for that one, and now we have a second one that appears.
Chrissy,
what do you guys think?
Yeah, what do you think, Chrissy?
It's hard. I feel like if there was something crazy inside of it or near it, the hillbillies sound like they're real homies. Like they would have said something. I think I trust the hillbillies more than I trust the feds. I don't think it could be. I'm not like an alien believer. I don't know. And if they are, they're in the ocean, because there's just,
Of course.
yeah,
I mean, if
they're down there.
Yeah.
They're down there. So I don't. I think it's probably a publicity stunt, or the ashes of the Zodiac Killer are in there. It's only one of them.
Oh, shit.
Which, by the way, I know that one of my favorite serial killers. I know that you're not supposed to have those.
What?
No, you're not.
Hey,
but
like, hey, Charles Manson, gotta love him, because he didn't actually do it. He told people to do it.
You got a little woman in you, because we love that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yes, my wife, she falls asleep listening to it. I go, terrifying.
Yeah, I
I
have
put
one
The
of those,
Office
too.
on to go to bed because it'll make me laugh. Maybe I'll have good dreams. And she's like, nope, murder. I want someone being stabbed to death in their sleep as I go into my slumber.
Yeah, she shows you like serial killers that have like women that have killed their husbands with like poisoning their food, and she's like, honey, dinner. You're like, get that shit out of my face, bitch.
The craziest. And you ladies like love it. When I do a joke about it and I ask who loves murder, and it's always ladies, and it's never the fellas. We never cop to that shit. We're like, no, we never do that.
My fiance's like that, and I'll ask her in the morning, how'd you sleep, babe? And I don't know why. I in and out of sleep, really restless. I'm not. It's like, yeah, you keep going to sleep to that. I can
Fucking murder. Yeah, what's on your mind?
But, okay, so you think it's the ashes of the Zodiac Killer. Shane, what do you think?
I don't know if you saw Tucker Carlson interviewing Thomas Massey recently, but he asked him like, so what's in Area 51 anyway? And Massey like just got real quiet. He's like, I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
So weird. He'll talk about
and I was like, whoa,
AIPAC having
weird.
a representative. Because during that interview, Thomas Massey says that AIPAC has a representative that meets with every member of Congress, and he's the only one that doesn't have it. So he can speak out about that.
He'll go that controversial, but
aliens.
then he gets serious. He goes, I've never even asked. It's like, you've never asked.
Wouldn't it be
Why
the first
not?
thing that you guys, if you were in any type of political office, my questions are, all right, who killed JFK? What really happened on 9/11? And are we alone in the universe? And these guys get in office, they're like, I'm more worried about tax reform and the debt.
Bullshit,
Like, what?
Yeah.
That's what you're concerned. I would like to know about the secrets of this country.
Yeah, I would not rule anything out because, I don't know, if you look into Area 51, it is very weird how little we know about it. If it's so high security and so many people probably go in and out of it driving trucks, at least one person had to have slipped at some point, but no one has slipped. No one has any idea what's in it.
They're
like,
very good at
Congress doesn't know what's in it.
Yeah.
If the president's Congress, like all these people who have security clearances don't know what's in there, like we have no, like it can't be anything that we're familiar with.
Well, especially if it's run by the CIA, and because Kelly has an episode after this, a show for Saints and Sinners about Operation Saints and Sinners. Suits and Sinners. Did I say Saints? Oh, what a dumbass. Suits and Sinners. At the end of this show, she's gonna be talking about Operation Mockingbird, which was the CIA with media and narratives and stuff like that. I just finished reading a book called Chaos by I forgot his name, but bro, the CIA, this MK Ultra, literally, this is a fact, would take people, give them LSD, brainwash them, and these fuckers would kill. And
they did it to Ted Kaczynski. Yeah. Ted Kaczynski was a brilliant mind, went to Harvard at 14 or 15, and then they put him in a program where they dosed him with LSD, broke his mind, and then he moves to the woods and starts writing about the downfall of humanity being technology, and then he starts mailing out mail bombs to people to try and stop the advancement of technology.
If you took the bombs away from him, though, he wasn't wrong.
No,
he wasn't.
I told my son, I go, minus the murder.
Yeah.
I'm really on board,
Forget that
living in
part.
the woods by yourself, living off the land in some weird cabin where you don't talk to people, and you're like, I just want to be away from it all. There's times where I get like that with my phone. I'm like, I just don't want to be near it. I just want to be disconnected. And Ted Kaczynski, he had that one right.
Just forget about the mail bombs.
but the point was going to you is like the CIA. Who runs the Area 51? Is it CIA, government, black op?
It's
By the way,
they
they're
probably
a
do it
mixture.
under the Air Force, I would think.
Well,
right?
I think it is technically Air
base.
Force, but you can be assured that most people in the Air Force also don't know what's in there.
because I was
so-
in the Air Force, and
Yeah.
I was in Colorado Air Force Base, and Peterson Air Force Base, where it's like a mountain, and you drive into the mountain. Like
Wait,
the base
Wait, so
is-
it's the base is built
there's
inside.
base
Like a bat
inside.
cave.
It's like a bat cave.
You ever see those? Okay, let me ask you because you ever see those stories where they have underground truck routes? Have you ever seen those where there's stories of underground
like
cities?
Denver Airport? Or
I've read a lot about Denver Airport, and it's always weird. But no, I've always seen like photos of supposedly these underground routes where truck drivers can go, and I've always like, that's crazy. We would know about that if that exists. But then there's literally Air Force bases hidden inside of mountains that we don't know
Rob, it'd be
about.
funny if the
Right.
camera cut to me and I was like this. I don't know what you're talking about. Because I mean, I had secret clearance. I didn't have. Wait, did I have? I had secret clearance. But there's different levels, but there's obviously something going on. We don't know where the technology is coming from. I just wish they would open one of these damn things just right in front of us. What the hell is in there? If it's just metal and somebody soldered it, because I mean, bro, just looking at that looks like a perfect
Well, the reflection, Kelly, could you pull it back up real quick?
The reflection,
if you could see the reflection, the two side-by-side photos of it, the reflection of it going out towards the mount, like this one right there.
That looks fantastic.
That really, is that made of glass? What is that? That's not something that 4 hillbillies in Utah can make.
No, and Rob, I would be scared. Real talk, I'd be scared to walk up to that damn thing.
Me too. I would run, and I don't run, but I would I'd roll down the hill.
Rob's like, I would stop, drop, and roll down that hill and shock.
And did they just pick that thing up, or is that thing dug into the ground deep? Like, what do we know about?
Nobody.
So the last
how
I
did
saw,
they get that thing out of it?
It was still there. Nobody has touched it, but apparently desert people can just come and take things.
You need to have these hillbillies on the
I
show.
want to find them. Hey,
I
Earl.
have their names. We could
Earl.
Get Tony on it.
Yeah.
But it's just such a weird thing to just be placed in the middle of nowhere. I have a lot of questions. I'm gonna have to do research. Is there footsteps around it? When they show up, what the hell's going on? Is there any radioactive freaking force happening around it? I want to, dude. I don't know.
Don't you always think they're trying to distract us, though? Like, I think it's fascinating if you're right about the Area 51 being owned and operated as an Air Force base.
Yeah.
The Air Force and pilots have been some of the only people to report what's going on in terms of aliens and UFOs.
Sure.
So wouldn't it be just like such an easy cop out to be like, hey, look at this over here instead of what's actually happening?
Sure. And I think this is my opinion. I think besides politics and explosions and terrorist stuff that they're letting, I think the one way to have everybody come together, everybody, race, nobody, political affiliation, nobody gives a shit, race, gender, all that shit. Everybody comes together. It has to be a threat that's not of this world. It has to be something where late breaking news, hey guys, an alien ship is here. Let's say they've been working on it to build one because they have the technology. It's here. There it is. It's communicating with us. Guess what it's saying? You can't go. I got goosebumps. You can't go here. You can't do this. Stay in your house or they're going to do this. And guess what COVID was? A test run to see how long could they F with us to stay in your house. Fear, disease. These aliens are here. They're going to attack. Stay in your damn house. Bro, don't play. And I know some people in the chat are like, what the hell are you talking about? Read the book Chaos. Look at what the CIA did just to human beings, and you won't think twice about what these sons of bitches will do to keep us controlled. I'm telling you.
Historically, we've needed a common enemy to band together.
Yes.
And we found that in 1944 with the Japanese and the Nazis. We saw that in 2001 with Afghanistan and the Taliban.
9/11.
So is that the next threat? Because Russia, I don't think it's working. Like, yeah, they're scaring us, but like the narrative of Russia is the big evil bad guy that we must defeat, I don't feel like most Americans feel that way.
They don't.
I think most Americans look at what's going on specifically in Ukraine and Russia and having more questions as to why our money's going there than why Putin is doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So the foreign enemy doesn't work on this planet right now anymore.
It's not.
Kim Jong-un, we laugh at him. We see his little rocket. Trump calls him, what is he
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. And then we see them too where they bring out their weapons of mass destruction and some of them are allegedly cardboard in their parades. So like that didn't work. So it's like, okay, well, who can we really get them to fear?
Yes.
And it's got to be another worldly being at this point because this is not working.
Robbie, great fucking point. Because if right now, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, everybody goes, guys, late breaking news, alien. What the hell do you think people are going to do?
They rush the stores, and they rush their stores. They run, first thing, groceries,
toilet
gas.
paper.
We're going to be fighting it first for resources, but then we're going to band together to fight back.
Exactly, like Independence Day. And I'm telling you right now, do not be surprised, because I've been saying this for a while. If the terrorists, that's not working, the Russia thing, nobody gives a fuck, especially like when interviews with Tucker going over there, and it's like, oh, Putin's just, he knows about history. And he's crazy, but that fear isn't working. And I think the last resort is going to be the shift. Because if that happens, bro, you're going to listen because you have to. Because it's called martial law. You have to. We have a threat.
That's a dream.
Yeah, exactly. They said that they're going to do X, Y, and Z unless we shut everything down. Nobody in the streets. No cars. Stay home. And we'll do it because we scare easy. We're going to, by the way, all the toilet paper, gone.
Not me. I got it already. Can I tell you, this is funny. This is why I love working at Valuetainment. Whoever the listener is that sent food buckets, 3-month supplies
You
of
took
food.
those, you asshole?
I waited. I waited like 9 months. I kept asking.
I wanted one,
I
you
asked the
prick.
front desk girl. I kept going, hey, if nobody claims this, what happens? And she goes, well, I guess we throw them out. And I go, okay, before you throw them out, could you let me know? So she came to me and 2 other sales guys, and we each got a food bucket. So whoever's sending the food buckets for the apocalypse,
Send me more.
Thank you. And yes,
What are
please send
they?
more.
Are they like MREs?
Yes, military rations. I have that. I have what you guys. Oh,
Wow.
I'm not
Rob,
telling you.
I'm
where
going to
I'm
your
going.
house,
for
you
the
son of a
apocalypse.
bitch.
You can come.
Yeah.
What
I
about
need
me?
somebody to cuddle with.
I got guns. Yeah, 'cause I
You'll
have guns.
protect us. You'll be my
I'll
cuddle
write
buddy.
your diaries.
Thank
I
you.
have guns. Well, Rob, thank you for scaring the shit out of all of us. With
Thank
the,
you.
with the monolith, and yeah, I still want to know what the hell's going on inside of it. All right, Shane. So
Yes.
voting,
So
it's
from-
voting season.
From
And
fake aliens to real aliens.
oh, so fake aliens, to illegal
Yeah.
aliens.
Ooh, that was
And-
smooth.
Space to out of town aliens.
And as Chrissy said, distracting us from real stuff. This is real stuff. Unfortunately, it's very real. So a new report from the New York Post claims that non-citizens are receiving voter registration forms when they fill out other government paperwork in every single state in the U.S. besides Arizona, because they had the balls to actually pass a law to ban this. So when you go to the when you go to the DMV and you get your driver's license, they give you a registration form to fill out to vote.
Yeah.
They do that at welfare offices too.
Oh, great.
They do that. Also, you can apply for mail-in balloting. They don't check your citizenship status. At none of these places do they check your citizenship status.
Great.
And illegals can get welfare benefits in a majority of blue states, and they can get driver's licenses in an increasing number of states. And they are being given registration forms without being asked whether they are citizens. And this is going on while the Department of Homeland Security projects that more than 8 million illegal immigrants will be living within the United States by October, which is a 167% increase over 5 years.
Holy
And
shit.
that's just the numbers that they admit. All the conservative estimates, conservative groups estimate that it's way above that. So this guy named Hans von Spakovsky.
Yeah, he's from Heritage, right?
From Heritage, Heritage Foundation. He presented examples before Congress in May about examples of illegals being registered to vote. He presented Congress with a list of 19 illegal aliens from Italy, Mexico, the DR, El Salvador, Haiti, the Philippines, Panama, South Korea, Poland, Guatemala, Nigeria, and Canada, who were prosecuted and convicted in the state of North Carolina for illegally voting in multiple state elections.
Wow.
He brought up one individual from Pittsburgh who wrote a letter to his county official saying, I was registered to vote. I didn't know that you can't vote as an illegal. I don't want to be registered to vote anymore. Please take me off.
Holy shit.
And they weren't going to check up on him. He had to report himself because he didn't want to go to jail because that's a crime, because it is illegal to vote. It is illegal to vote as a non-citizen in the U.S., and it is technically supposed to be illegal to register to vote, but unless your citizenship actually gets checked, it won't actually be prosecuted. So the Spakovsky found that 10,000 to 20,000 illegal immigrants have been registered to vote by Pennsylvania alone over the last 20 years. The pair also presented similar evidence of non-citizen voting in California, New Jersey, and Chicago. This is all going on, by the way, while New York City continues to give out some of their $5 billion to migrants for welfare programs.
$5 billion?
$5 billion set aside for it. Credit cards, hotel rooms. New York City gave 700,000 people cash welfare in 2023, making the welfare levels swell to levels they haven't seen since 2000. And Hochul, whatever, is using taxpayer funds to give welfare to legal aliens through the Safety Net Assistance Program, which is intended for U.S. citizens who are below the poverty line. She's giving it to the illegals that are now at the level of 65,000 in New York. And what are Republicans doing about this? Well, they've approved of a new bill called the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act, SAVE Act, but they haven't even brought it to the floor for a vote yet. And they said, maybe we'll bring it to the floor by August. By that time,
that's why
we're going to get a no, and then they're going to go back to the drawing board, and then they're going to say, oh, it's too late now, it's November. And to me, this is really the only issue that matters right now, because every single other issue has no bearing if we don't have control over our own elections. And if the entire world can vote in our elections, then we have literally no freedom and no power, because our policies that affect our everyday lives can be controlled by vast organizations that have no government accountability, giving out registration forms for illegals to vote. And Chrissy, you were saying that there's groups at the border who've been making a killing facilitating this.
Yeah, so that's where I was going to bring it next. It's real crazy because you always have to follow the money, right? Follow the money. What's happening right now is there's non-governmental organizations, NGOs. There's 3 at the southern border. I'll pull up the names of them. One of them sounds like Southwest, but it's Endeavors, Inc., Global Refuge, Southwest Key Programs. And these organizations were making about $597 million in 2019, which is really not that much relative. Nope. They're making $2 billion now, and they're handing out flyers saying, remember who is voting or remember who brought you into this country, Biden. Continue to vote for these people as you.
Oh, they tell them as no, of course.
Oh,
it's like,
they
listen,
get flyers.
Biden. Yeah, of course. They're not going to tell them Republican, vote for
Of course. And the craziest thing is that this is pocketing a couple of other people, by the way. We saw I'm looking at the numbers. It's crazy. The CEOs of these companies, you can just see on the little chart that I'm looking at. They were making like no money in 2019. Then all of a sudden they're making millions of dollars, these CEOs. And you know who funds these NGOs? It's not private dollars. It's not just, oh, you want to give your money. No. The taxpayers are funding it to the federal government. The federal government then pays these NGOs to then let people into the country illegally who are going to vote for Democrats. It's an enrichment scheme.
Of course it is. And when you say, Shane, about the whole, Republicans, bro, there's no such thing as a like it's that word is finished with me. Republican Party, Democrat. Bullshit. Because all they do is go, hey, I'm mad. I'm going to write a letter. We're going to have a hearing. Nothing happens. Zero.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of this shit.
It's like maybe like 10 of them in the House that you can kind of trust. But even still, it's like there's no when having an ID to vote seems like the most basic common sense law you could possibly push to the table. The fact that there's not already consent from the rest of their party, let alone Democrats, on this is literally insane.
Yeah.
And it proves that they want this to happen, because what is their excuse other than we want illegals to vote?
I just don't necessarily agree, though. Democrats with a D next to their name who are elected into power want that. Your average liberal does not. Your average liberal does not believe in transgender rights. They don't believe that you should be transing the kids in elementary school. Your average liberal does not believe that you shouldn't have voter ID laws. They certainly don't believe that voter ID laws are racist. It's one of the weirdest things where the GOP will say things that the Republican base actually likes, yet the Democrats are so out of touch, and somehow they're more powerful in the way that they run the country when they're so vastly out of touch from their base. Whereas in the inverse, it's like the GOP can be so in touch with their base, and yet they can't get shit done.
Yeah, and then like when anyone asks, the question, can we do this? It's all, you're racist. Like we were saying with Candace and Chris Cuomo on the podcast. She asked him, do you think it's okay to have ID checks at voter booths? He's like, no, I do believe it's disenfranchising non-white voters. And she came back at him just saying, how? Are you saying that non-white people are incapable of registering to vote themselves?
Which is racist.
And also, like, this has nothing to do with race. It's laws. Like, if you are not a part of the country, if you don't pay taxes to it, you shouldn't have a say in what the country does. It's just common sense. But the left-wing groups, like Campaign Legal Center, say shameful bills like the Safeguard American Voter Eligibility Act often result in eligible U.S. citizens being incorrectly prevented from voting or being forced to jump through additional hoops to exercise their freedom to vote. It's a fabrication being peddled for personal and political gain by leaders who should know better. So they're like, there's no cause for concern, and this will only negatively affect legal voters. This is going to be, disenfranchising normal Americans how will it disenfranchise them? Like, they don't explain what they're talking about at all.
What do you think?
You could see there was a conscious shift in their game plan, like from 4 years ago, where they were looking to try to get Black Americans and Spanish and Latino Americans to try to get on board, and that was their like demo of choice. And now that the reason they had to move and make this the new demo of choice is because the people here, you can't pull the wool over their eyes any longer. Everybody sees it, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. When I see something in front of my eyes enough time, you can't help but to deny it. And the election really opened my eyes the last time, because I really didn't realize, look, I'm a sports guy, man. I'm just forced to get into this the last 5 or 6 years as I become like grown up and I need to know. I saw stuff in front of my eyes, and when these people are telling me you're not seeing these boxes of ballots, you're not seeing people pull these out and check them off at 3 a.m. And I'm like, dude, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
So they can't no longer get people with any semblance of their own thought process, because once you see this stuff, they have to shift and try to grab another. And obviously, you see that's their master plan.
What's up, Rob?
Well, we always hear about the Great Replacement theory, right? And how that's right-wing ideology.
Yeah, Tom Ellsworth, famous proponent of it.
Yes, he's a white nationalist.
White nationalist
Media
Tom.
Matters wrote a hit piece on Vaccine, and they claimed that Tom, I don't know if you know BizDoc, on the PBD podcast, is a white nationalist for talking
the
about...
sweetest man I've ever met in my entire life.
Yeah.
And they go, a white nationalist. Because of the idea of the Great Replacement theory. I want to give you background on this, and then you tell me if this prediction turned out to be true. September of 2021, the U.S. media starts turning its attention to an increasing number of Haitian migrants seeking protection at the border in Del Rio, Texas. While most of the arriving migrants were either turned back into Mexico or deported to destitute conditions in Haiti, some Haitian families were allowed to stay in the U.S. This is September of 2021. Later that month, on September 22nd, Tucker Carlson provided his own theory as to what was happening. In a segment titled "Nothing About What's Happening is an Accident," Carlson said the current U.S. border policy is designed to change the radical mix of the country. In political terms, this policy is called the Great Replacement, the replacement of legacy Americans with more obedient people from faraway countries. Carlson concluded that Biden's policies with regards to the Haitian migrants have put the U.S. on a suicidal path. This is September of 2021. We are now 3 years removed from when Tucker first brought this up on television. Tell me, is it so much a conspiracy theory, this Great Replacement theory anymore?
No, it's happening.
Or what we're seeing with the how many illegal immigrants that have come into this country? You said 8 million on the conservative end?
Yeah.
On the conservative end,
yeah.
8 million people have come into this country, and you're going to tell me that that is right-wing propaganda, right-wing ideology, and bullshit? Well, bullshit on you.
The key word is obedient, because Chrissy was just saying, like, the average liberal wouldn't actually agree with these policies if they could see all laid on the table. I think the same thing applies to non-citizens. They don't agree with, if they could see every single policy that will be supported if Biden's going to win again, they won't agree with it.
I
but
agree.
they're low information voters, as the Democrats like to say about Republicans, and they're kept in the dark. They don't speak English as their primary language. They don't have access to news sources like VT.com, by the way, full report on this on VT.com, great news source, that can keep them informed. And so they were brought into the country by one specific party, and they feel that they can get deported if they don't keep voting for this one party, and that they're kept in fear, they're kept in ignorance by design by the Democrats, so they have a permanent voting block so they can do whatever they want with no repercussions.
What you said was very interesting. Low-informed voters.
That's what they say about the Trump voters.
When I voted as a Democrat, which I have in the past and I've admitted to,
Son of a bitch.
it was when I was not paying attention to actual policy, and I was paying attention to personality and social issues. And then I started focusing and becoming educated, and I went, this shit's retarded. I can't continue to vote this way. And now which way have I started voting? Republican. So it's very interesting. You can see, I was a low-informed voter and went, hey, this is weird. This doesn't make sense. Let me read more about this. And then I became informed, and I went, well, their policies suck. I hate every single one of them. I don't agree with any of them.
And you want to trip out? So I got a Minect yesterday. I don't want to say the person's name, but he's a Mexican guy. We were going back and forth, and he's like, Vinny, I love what you're doing. I love your love for the country. He's a Mexican guy, but he wanted to know about, the DACA. He's like, what if, a kid was brought here 20 years. They love the country. They're paying taxes. And then he goes, honestly, Vinny, growing up, all the Mexican news channels brainwash us in very serious ways, and it's sad to see how the Hispanic Mexican community gets brainwashed into hating America, only believing the Democrats, and building anger and fear against the Republican Party. And honestly, the way the Mexican culture is and the values Mexicans have aligned way more with the Republican Party. We are just being brainwashed by these new channels. God bless you and all that you do. And being a true patriot. This is messages I get about exactly your point.
Amazing.
It's the media. But if they really woke up, because in all honesty, I think we spoke about this before. The real number is around 20 million that are going to be here. Chrissy, I know it's disgusting. I fucking hate it. Now, since you're not going to deport them, Chris, there's zero chance anybody's going to grab these people and leave. Especially if Trump wins. The moment there's a video of them, ICE or whatever, grabbing one kid, they're going to go racist. And here we fucking go. The Joe Scarboroughs and all these Rachel Maddow losers are going to, don't forget what you're going to say, are going to jump at this thing. The real shift is going to be, how do you convert these people to become conservative
happening.
Republican vote.
I hate
You
to be
think
Kara Swisher. I
No,
really
do it.
do. But I was in my Uber from the airport to my hotel last night, and then just talking to the Uber driver. I'll be honest, he's really hard to understand. He's from Panama.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me, I asked him point blank, who are you voting for? He's been a citizen for, I think he said like 20 years. He's been in the country. So he's probably been a citizen for about 15. He's like, ooh, what do you think of Trump? And most people look at me and they just assume because I'm young and whatever, they just assume I'm voting for Biden, which is really funny.
Oh, that's funny.
And so he was like, well, what do you think of Trump? Probably he's had some terrible interactions
Yeah,
with people that look like me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, it's interesting. Explain why. He's like, well, I have a daughter who lives in Panama. She's 24 years old. And if I wanted to bring her over, it's about a 7-year process to bring her over. He's like, I've thought about just sending her to Mexico, having her walk across.
So
he's
funny.
making a joke about it, but at the same time, he's like, spot on. It's sometimes easier. I even talked to somebody who he was a visa holder in the U.S. with a previous company I was working for, and I was like, you know, man, if you can't get your visa renewed, you should just walk across the border and do some
Dead
do some
serious.
reporting.
Why would you wait?
There's a great article that goes to your point about if Trump starts putting people and deporting people, he'll be, the racist. This is an article that was written by the Washington Post, October 23rd of 2020. Kids in cages. It's true that Obama built the cages at the border, but Trump's zero-tolerance immigration policy had no precedent. So even though Obama built the cages that Trump put the kids in, it's somehow Trump's fault that he didn't have
No
any
precedent.
Yeah, no precedent.
Have you seen those
That's
cages?
such a classic spin
Like,
of
how?
the actual facts. Yeah, he did this, but it's this guy who actually utilized
Orange
them.
man.
What kind? Okay,
Orange
so
man bad.
So what was the plan? Why would you build them if you weren't going to use them in the first place?
Oh no, they were using them. You just didn't see it.
Yeah, have you guys seen those cages? I went and saw them in real life, and it's so interesting because the ones that were built under Trump are so much nicer than the ones
Yeah, he's a hotel builder.
He made
They're gold.
the biggest and beautiful cages for the
Yeah,
children.
they're beautiful.
5-star hotel.
My
They're
cages
there.
are the
Yeah.
best cages.
Oh, all right, guys. We're gonna move on to the last story. Thank you, Shane. Chris, Trump versus Biden, the debate. It's happening. It's early. Talk to us.
All right, debate one. So CNN finalized and released the rules for the first debate set to take place on June 27th over the last couple days, and they're interesting to say the least. I want to read a couple of them to you guys and get your thoughts on. But before we start, I want to kind of make sure everybody knows that we will be doing an event here for the debate.
Okay.
8:30 pre-show on the 27th. 9 o'clock podcast with PBD and the boys, and then a post show at 10:30.
And this will be on PBD
That'll be
podcast, right?
Yes, yes. So
All right.
make sure you guys check that out. It's
Hey,
gonna
I
be
think I'm
awesome.
going to be on it, right?
Yes, you will be. It's a podcast. You'll be
The
there.
Trump
Are you just
Yeah,
learning
wait,
this now? Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, quick side note, though, how CNN still continues to get the rights to these things, especially after, like, the fiasco with Donna Brazil. Yeah, it's wild. But I just want to talk about some of these rules that are new but interesting, and I want to kind of get you guys' thoughts on how do we think they slant? Like, who benefits from these? So, first and foremost, no live audience. So for the first time in a real long time, there's going to be no people there. And my thought process is that they think people are waking up and going to boo this guy Biden off the stage. So they want to make sure that that's not happening, right? There's going to be no opening statements for the candidates this time. They will have the freedom to make closing statements, though. So who do we think that benefits? Is that like a...
Closing? Well, depends on...
Trump.
Yeah.
Biden won't be able to remember what he said earlier in the debate to reference his closing statements.
I think whoever goes last,
Come on,
is
man.
always the better one, because I want to know what you think, Chrissy. But I think, dude, it's which Biden are we going to get? Are we going to get
State of the
Union Biden?
Best drugs we have.
Up,
Best drugs we have in the country.
Biden number. That all depends. What do you think?
Well,
there's two parts because he hasn't been able to do any debate prep. He's been traveling there and back from the G7 summit to Hunter's trial, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be interesting to see a low preparation Biden. Couple that with, I think he will be drugged up. I think he's going to look better than people anticipate him to look, and that's why I don't want to set the bar so low.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the rules are going to, or the intros are going to hurt him or help him in any way, because the things that he claims are like his big things, no one likes. So if the fewer times you say it, I actually think it might help him.
okay, so some of these other rules are 2 commercial breaks. So this is something new and weird, right?
In 90 minutes?
2 commercial breaks. I think that gives
Diaper
them a
change
chance to
time.
Diaper
regroup.
change. Diaper change.
But they're not allowed to kind of associate with their teams during this, is what they say. I'm
guarantee
interested
you
to
Biden
see in
will.
what
Yeah.
the cameras
Yeah, sure.
that are running between, between commercial breaks show. Podium positions will be determined by a coin flip. That's kind of interesting.
Why does it matter? There's two of you.
Yeah.
Wait, why does that actually, for real, why does that matter?
I don't know. I think if Biden's team is there and Trump sends him over here, it might be a little harder. But again, I don't really know.
that's so
Oh my gosh, that only matters if you're in like sixth grade preparing for your presentation in front of your teacher. Get over yourself.
Yeah, or if there's like 3 or 4 podiums, I want to be
Sure.
all the way in the right because that to me, I don't want to be right in the middle.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No,
Then-
they're just two. They're going to
It's just
evenly
2
split.
people. That's so stupid.
Then this one to me is super interesting because as we know, Jake Tapper and Dana Bash are going to moderate and enforce this, but
LOL.
mics can be muted outside of speaking time. So we've seen
What the fuck? Wait,
So
what?
that means they may give candidates 90 seconds or 2 minutes on an answer. And if they have to go over, or maybe they start to battle back and forth a little bit, the CNN moderators have the ability to kind of hold a button down and make sure that a Trump or a Biden isn't interjecting and talking over the other person. I think we've seen in the past they have a propensity to mute Trump more than Biden.
This takes out all the, like, people watch this shit because I want to see arguing. I want to see banter. I want to see going back and forth.
You want to see debate.
This is
gonna be
stupid.
boring.
Yeah, debate is arguing and listening, not.
Trump's not going to be able to say, because you'd be in jail.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail. That's why we
Yeah.
watch that shit. This is stupid.
And I loved when he walked around with the microphone. too.
Yeah.
He's like MC.
But you're right,
He's built for these
They've
things.
removed the debate portion from the debate. This is now just two older
my
men
opinion.
getting up and
Talking.
telling us their talking points, hosted by Jake Tapper.
So,
wow.
so we keep
Riveting.
going. No props, no pre-written notes. So that's kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
right.
Like that seems.
yeah.
like it
Man,
was-
Trump should come out with Hunter Biden's laptop and Ashley the diary and
be
put
like, what
that
are you
shit down and
talking
go,
about?
explain either one of these. Go ahead. Here's
Yeah,
your 90
go
seconds.
for it. Oh, that'd be props. Hilarious.
Yes.
What props? I mean, oh god, that's.
What is he, Carrot Top? Is he going to come out with a
Props.
trunk and start pulling out props
Yeah.
on the debate stage?
Then they'll be provided with pen, paper, and water. That's all they're going to be given.
So,
And Adderall
And
for
Adderall.
Biden.
well, you know what? I wouldn't be
And
surprised if
bath salts.
Biden has some type of listening device on his body or in his ear.
Dude, I've never been more convinced in my life that he's going to know every question.
no.
going
Oh,
in.
oh.
What if he's got Neuralink?
Oh, God.
What if he has Neuralink
Oh, my God.
and Elon Musk is sitting there? Well, no, because
He'll-
Elon's pro-Trump.
Yeah.
Well,
So
he's-
who would be
yeah.
typing the retarded
Anthony
shit that he
Blinken.
says?
Blinken, but it won't even matter. It'll still suck. And plus, this is going to be like Biden's just going to name a bunch of statistics about how well his economy's
And he's gonna
doing,
say,
and then
no.
Trump's going to be like, "That's bullshit," and then that's going to be it. And then they won't be able to like interject or anything. It's going to go back and forth
This
like
seems
that.
boring.
100% is going to be boring because everything that makes Trump what Trump is and separate, they're kind of eliminating from his arsenal.
Yeah.
So that's why I think a lot of people have some problems with it. Now, another rule that was agreed upon, but both candidates agreed upon, is that both candidates will be standing for the entirety of the debate. Now, multiple sources over the last 24 hours are saying that the Biden team is fighting hard
I heard
to
that.
get
For real?
this amended.
I heard
Yeah.
that too. Yeah, because they want to be able to sit on a stool.
Yeah.
Bro, if the president of the United States can't stand for 90 minutes, he shouldn't be the president of the United States.
When we went to the TPUSA event in West Palm Beach, Trump went and spoke, and it was a really weird amount of time, but it was like an hour and 47 minutes where he stood up there and just spoke. And I went, I would pay, I don't have it, I would give the mortgage of my home, I would risk it for Biden to be able to do exactly that. Get up there and talk for an hour and 47 minutes. He can't talk for 47 seconds without a blunder.
Yeah.
That's why I go, who's going to lose this thing? I don't think Trump has anything to lose by accepting this debate. I think everything favors him. You're going to get to see him on mainstream TV. The narrative of orange guy bad just doesn't work anymore for the average American. So what are you going to attack him on? His policies when he was president, the fact that he's a convicted felon, 60% of Americans think that the Justice Department was weaponized in pursuit of Trump on those legal charges. So Americans aren't buying that. Orange man bad no longer works. You can't look at his economy and go, my economy today is better than your economy 8 years ago. It's not true. So Trump can't lose this. I think Biden has everything to lose. I think it's going to be sitting there. Like, you ever watch a comic go on and you know they're going to eat dicks?
Yeah.
And I'm a bad person. I love that. I sit in the back and I watch, and when things don't land, I laugh. I'm a bad person. That is what I am waiting for at this debate. Is there's no way Joe Biden gets through 90 seconds seconds each time without flubbing, without having some type of blunder, without freezing, and everybody's going to be watching and waiting.
Without reveling, you mean?
Robbie, reveling.
Yes, what, he's going to revel in the audience?
I didn't realize
there.
this word.
Why remove the audience? Now he has nobody to revel at.
Yeah, but Rob, let me ask you a question though. Do you guys think because there's cheating all the time?
Yeah.
Is he going to have the answers pre-ready, Biden?
Yeah, but he can't remember them. This is a guy that had cue cards for meetings where they'd tell him where to go
Stand
and
up.
sit.
Here,
Yeah,
sit down.
Please clap.
Sit here, speak to this person. Like, the guy can't. So, no, you could literally have a feed in his ear with the questions answered in advance, and I don't think that gives him an advantage
But
over
you
Trump.
don't at all, meaning, like, I don't want, because Chris, you don't think if you, okay, yes, he's gone. He's batshit crazy. But having an inclination of, hey, Joe, economy. Remember these 4 major things.
Did you see it yesterday, Kelly? Is there any way? I don't know if you guys. I'm sorry that the clip from yesterday, the 7-second clip that's everywhere, that is apparently a cheap fake, where Biden can't get through a sentence in front of Chuck Schumer, the weirdo that grills uncooked hamburgers, and they're all looking at him. If you could just do
It's on the
Biden.
Valuetainment Twitter.
Oh, it's on Valuetainment. What is the Valuetainment?
Valuetainment TV.
Media.
TV, I think.
Well, that's the one thing about these people is
it's on Twitter.
they really
Chris,
do.
keep going.
They do have a plan for everything, and if we've learned that over the last couple of years, and they're not. The problem with them is they're not stupid in any sense. It's so easy to be like, these Democrats are so stupid. They didn't see this coming. No. Don't get it twisted. They're very smart and they're evil, and they have a plan and they have a rebuttal and they have some kind of something planned for everything. So they know the same as we know, and Rob knows that this guy can't talk for 90 seconds. So you know there's contingencies.
Oh, for
Something's
sure.
gonna happen.
At least, and that's it right there.
Right there, Kelly, can you pull that up?
Yeah, Kelly, play it just like that. Okay, well, wait. But look,
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Homeland Security, members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure you're going to do shit.
What the fuck is he saying? Look at Kelly's face. Look at Kelly's face. Kelly,
Watch the woman in the back.
Guys, Andres, cut to me. Kelly's face was like this. Look at play it one more time with that, guys. Nobody talk.
Watch the woman
Chrissy,
in the back.
did you see this? Yo, look at this. This was remember, yesterday Karine Jean-Pierre said all the videos you've been seeing about him fucking freezing up are fake. What is this?
Members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure you're going to do shit all the way.
By the way, Kelly. Okay, can pause it? Kelly, pause it. Look at Chuck Schumer, the little fucking weasel.
I saw the best.
Look at that weasel. Look at Mayorkas and look at that
smiling.
fucking rat.
The
Look at
best
him.
meme I've seen of Chuck Schumer, he had Nancy Pelosi's breast, and he was cooking the burger, and he said, just like you humans, I unhinge my jaw and eat the meat raw. And I went, oh, he is a lizard person.
I put him
And
in
you
the
look at
blender.
that, you watch that, and you go,
Kelly,
yeah, he is a lizard
Guys,
person.
I've been saying this for a year. I want a camera on Kelly just to show her face when he went, and they're laughing at him. They're laughing.
Well, the rest of them deserve credit for their ability to no sell, because like we've seen it with Mitch McConnell too, when he just freezes, and the two people who their sole jobs is to make sure this goes smooth.
Yeah.
We're just gonna pretend like this is part of
That's
the game.
it. That's what I
just
do.
pretend like it's
Yeah.
business as usual.
Yeah, so
and we
Chris-
just keep
Chris-
rolling.
And real quick, you had mentioned something before we wrap up, because I know we're short on time. You had mentioned these are people that have a plan, right? They're strategic.
It seems like it, yeah.
Okay. Clearly, the wheels on this plan have fallen off. So if they are as thought out as we think that they are, then does this mean that Biden's protection has been removed? They're feeding him to the wolves. Why do you think he's in this debate? There's no way he's going to win.
And Rob, they moved it early. Of
course, because he'll be asleep by 9 o'clock. The guy from footsie pajamas. He's elderly.
Yeah, Rob, and date-wise, this is an early in the month.
Early debate.
Dude, we're in June. They're having the first debate. I think that's
And the second one isn't scheduled until September.
guys.
Well, that's the thing. They're going to see what kind of train wreck this is. Can we salvage it and keep them? Or is it just the
Look at
Titanic?
yesterday, and the answer for most Democrats came Saturday night. When you watch Joe Biden on that stage, because there were clips that came out where he's not making a coherent sentence, and Barack Obama, like he rattles on for like 15 seconds, and then Obama goes, yup. And then Obama has to guide him off stage. I think this weekend was proof that he's done as a candidate. I think the protection has been lifted, and I believe that there has already been a plan in place, and it involves either Michelle Obama or Gavin Newsom, or yesterday the reports were that they should replace Kamala Harris with Hillary Clinton, which even blew my
Guys,
mind.
I
She's been out
heard
You're
there
going to
more
replace
too
a
lately, yeah.
black woman of color as the vice president with
So
Hillary?
Hillary Clinton probably has hot sauce in a backpack, so don't. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, she's one of those.
She's one of
she's
them.
a culturally appropriate.
culture vulture. Yeah.
Ugh, I didn't want to say it.
I just think it's. I think the protection has been lifted, and I think that this is just them feeding him to the wolves, which is sad that his wife allows this to continue to happen. Could you imagine? I love my wife. If she somehow rose to this position of power, I would step in if there was signs of dementia and go, I need to do what's best for my family and protect this person.
Yeah.
And the fact that Joe Biden isn't stepping in and going, clearly something is wrong with my husband. I'm a doctor. I should know.
not a doctor.
Well, that's providing.
That's
that,
like saying a chiropractor is a fucking doctor. You're not a doctor, bro.
Yeah, when you say that, providing that's the important thing. Like to her, the important thing is the status and the power. So when he goes, that goes.
Oh, she'll be nobody, and overnight, you'll never hear Jill Biden's name ever again.
Because what does anyone even associate her with? Like, even say what you want about Michelle Obama, she had things, and you know what I mean.
Things a penis, if you believe me.
Which speaking of penises, I mean, dude, that's why I think Tucker. Because listen, guys, this next how many months till November?
5
months. You guys have, yeah, like
I forget what month it is sometimes.
Isn't it? Like, aren't you guys like? I'm excited for the uncertainty of the chaos that is destined. It's coming. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? You don't know if he's going to run. You don't know if he's going to die. You don't know if Trump's going to be in jail. You don't know if Michelle's going to come out of there with her Mike Tyson back, just represent. You don't know, dude. Hillary Clinton. Nobody has any idea what the hell is going to happen, but at least it's going to be exciting. I genuinely hope in my heart of hearts it's not going to happen. I have hope that these demons don't try to cheat, because the numbers aren't going to lie unless the illegal votes are happening, and then overnight Joe Biden's jump, Chrissy goes, remember that thing that went ooh overnight.
Straight up.
I just hope at least it's going to be exciting, and I just hope the people because Pat made a great point yesterday. Bob, you were there, where he's like, if Trump loses, like, meaning, and they think that there's something nefarious happening, it's going to be fucking ugly. It's going to be ugly, and I feel it, and I just hope it doesn't happen. But anyway, guys, that was fantastic. Chrissy, we want you to hear more.
Thank you so much.
I love you. You're married, right?
I'm engaged. I get married in October.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
That's why I wanted. That's a ring. Show it to the. Look at that. Damn.
Good job.
And an October wedding, the fall, which will be perfect for the riots that will be going on.
Right wedding.
That's my kind of wedding. But I want to thank everybody. And Kelly, that's so funny. Suits and Sinners, guys. The moment this episode is done, Suits and Sinners is going to come on. Operation Mockingbird, CIA, media, all the stuff that we kind of talked about. Kelly has an episode about that. Guys, if you haven't subscribed already, there's a subscription right there. Click on the notification bell. Guys, we love you more than you know. We are growing. I want us to go freaking faster. So subscribe, tell a friend if you haven't. And to all of you guys out there, listen, guys, with all the craziness, with all the stuff that's happening on, to hell with them. It's them against us, but we have to love each other, okay? Stick together, love each other, and I'll see you guys on Friday. Peace and love.